oftenly referred to as Carrillo, Amado Carrillo Fuentes has earned his place in history as one of the most notorious drug lords of all time. Born on December 17, 1956 to Walter Vicente Carrillo Vega and Aurora Fuentes in Guamuchilito, Navolato, Sinaloa, Mexico, Carrillo was one of 11 siblings. His father died in April 1986, and his brother, Cipriano Carrillo Fuentes, died in 1989 under peculiar circumstances. Reports suggest Carrillo's father was shot down by the police, while his mother, Aurora Fuentes, died of kidney complications on July 11, 2014. But Carrillo didn't let his humble beginnings dictate the course of his life. He established himself as an infamous Mexican drug lord, taking over the Juárez Cartel after the assassination of his boss and longtime friend, Rafael Aguilar Guajardo. He went on to become highly successful in the drug trade, getting labeled El Señor de los Cielos, or the Lord of the Skies, due to his innovative use of a large fleet of jets flying above the radar to transport drugs. The Mexican financed this fleet by laundering money through Colombia, something he was well known for. As for Amado's love life, he was reportedly married to Sonia Barragan Perez, who he had 3 children with. The drug lord also had an older son, Vicente Carrillo Levia, with another woman. Vicente eventually succeeded Carrillo as the leader of the Juarez Cartel. Carrillo's introduction to the drug trade. Drugs literally ran in Carrillo's family. Amado's uncle, Ernesto Fonseca Carrillo, commonly known as Don Neto, was the leader of the Guadalajara Cartel, which he ran alongside loyal second-in-command Miguel Ángel Felix Gallardo and Rafael Cara Quintero. With a famous Don as his uncle, Carrillo got his start in the drug business under the tutelage of Ernesto Fonseca Carrillo, later bringing in his brothers and son Vicente Jose Carrillo Leva. He joined his uncle's Guadalajara Cartel and learned everything he needed to know to become a feared drug lord in his own right while working there. He oversaw shipments of cocaine for his uncle Ernesto Fonseca Carrillo and learned about border operations from the Ojinega Fox, Pablo Orquesta Villarreal, and Rafael Aguilar Guajardo. Armed with this knowledge and experience regarding the Mexican drug trade, Carrillo quickly rose up the ranks, even working with Pablo Escobar and the Cali cartel to smuggle drugs from Colombia to Mexico and the United States. Other big names Carrillo worked with included Joaquin Guzman Lorera, or El Chapo, the Arellano Felix family, and the Beltran Leyva organization. Winds of change. Working with the top dogs of the Mexican drug trade as he slowly made a name for himself, Carrillo had a good thing going. But in February 1985, one of the founders of the Guadalajara Cartel, Miguel Felix Gallardo, made the terrible mistake of kidnapping an American intelligence officer working for the United States Drug Enforcement Administration. The DEA officer kidnapped was none other than Enrique Kiki Camarena Salazar, who'd been working in Mexico against the Guadalajara Cartel since 1980. Mexican politicians were suspected to have a hand in Kiki's kidnapping, and the officer was interrogated under torture before being murdered by Gallardo's men. This incident greatly angered the U.S. government. Until Kiki's death, the DEA was limited in their operations in Mexico. The kidnapping and consequential murder of a DEA officer allowed the U.S. to launch a full-scale invasion on the Mexican drug cartel. The prime suspect in the murder case of Kiki Camarena was Rafael Rafa Caro Quintero, another co-founder of the now disintegrated Guadalajara Cartel. Rafa was the first of Guadalajara Cartel's top brass to be arrested, and it was his arrest that brought the whole place down. Miguel Felix Gallardo and Carrillo's uncle Ernesto Fonseca Carrillo went into hiding, but could not escape the DEA for long, resulting in the Guadalajara Cartel losing all of its leadership. This created a massive power vacuum in the Mexican drug market of 1989, and where others saw loss and tragedy, Carrillo saw an opportunity to climb the metaphorical ladder. Rise to power. In 1987, drug lord and federal police commander of the Dirección Federal de Seguridad, or DFS, Rafael Aguilar Guajardo, became the head of the Juarez Cartel, with Carrillo as his loyal second-in-command. But 5 years later, in 1993, the heat on Guajardo became too much for Carrillo, and and he chose the cartel over his loyalty to his longtime boss and friend. Aguilar was shot to death under suspicious circumstances while vacationing with his family in the Caribbean resort of Cancun. The three suspects who committed the deed were arrested and questioned, upon which they confessed that they were hired to assassinate Aguilar. It was assumed the assassination was a contract hit by other drug traffickers, but it wasn't revealed until later that the man behind it all was none other than Aguilar's second, Amado Carrillo Fuentes. Carrillo quickly ascended to the position of head of the Juárez Cartel and replaced the top management with his brother and sons, buckling himself up for the inevitable drug war Aguilar's death would cause. Making use of private planes for the stealthy and efficient transportation of cocaine, Carrillo eventually secured the California smuggling routes of two other Mexican drug groups after their leaders got arrested, the Pacific and Sinaloa cartels. The drug kingpin simultaneously built alliances to establish himself as the most powerful man on the DEA's most wanted list. And once Juan Garcia Abrego was arrested in 1996, Carrillo became the undisputed emperor of Mexican drug traffickers. Death. Amado Carrillo Fuentes did a wonderful job of keeping his head under all circumstances. But eventually, the stress and pressure that he could be caught at any moment got to him, and he decided to undergo extensive plastic surgery and abdominal liposuction to change his appearance. This decision was made in July 1997, and the procedure was to be carried out at Santa Monica Hospital in Mexico City. Carrillo died during the procedure due to complications. The exact cause of death is still unknown, but a medication or a malfunctioning respirator is most likely. Two of Carrillo's bodyguards were in the room during the procedure. As revenge for Carrillo's death, Jamie Godoy Singh, the man thought to have carried out the surgery, was found dead along with his two assistants on November 7, 1997. The bodies were encased in concrete inside steel drums and showed clear signs of torture. A graphic video of Carrillo's coffin was released, and the drug kingpin was given a large, lavish funeral in Guamuchilito, Sinaloa. Governor Eduardo Borges asked the federal government to tear down Carrillo's mansion in 2006. Not everyone believes Carrillo really died for good that day. Some people believe the man in the coffin was not Fuentes, but rather one of his aides who had plastic surgery to look like him. This theory was backed by Carrillo's cousin Sergio Carrillo, although it's since been debunked by the DEA. That's a wrap for this video. What do you think of the undisputed Lord of the Skies? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.